Hello again, and welcome to the high point of the 70s, a watershed for English football. Whilst transfer fees started to soar and England continued to disappoint, our club sides were rampaging through Europe, carrying all before them. Unfortunately, the fans were doing much the same. By the late 70s, English football was beginning to rule the waves, with Liverpool emerging as the kings of Europe. Bob Paisley was now in charge of an experienced team skippered by Emlyn Hughes, with Kevin Keegan a star of stage and screen.
Nothing beats a good workout, Henry.
And nothing beats a great smell of brew.
Oh, yes. Splash it on all over, Henry. Here, how would you like to be in a brew commercial?
At home, the greatest threat to the Kop was emerging from Nottingham Forest. And even when they weren't singing, Brian Clough was always on hand with a familiar tune.
I will stop shouting, I will stop wagging my finger, I will stop inciting people, and then let's all listen, because I just might have a contribution to make.
But the nation's resident number one, Don Revie, was busy preparing his escape route as England's international humiliations looked set to continue. Man United's manager, Tommy Docherty, had brought them straight back from the second division with a bunch of new kids on the block.
Man United have been wonderful, refreshing little boys. And Tommy Docherty is sitting in a fortune if he doesn't know it.
Pick of the crop being university graduate Steve Coppell. Another side bursting with potential was Queen's Park Rangers, boasting a host of internationals, including the precocious talent of Stan Bowles.
Well, I think I'm very skillful, probably one of the most skillful in the country, I think so. And I'm told so, so I leave it at that.
And the New England captain, Jerry Francis.
It's there! He loves that!
I think that we've always been capable of beating anybody. I think if we can get the consistency into our game, then I can't see why there's no reason why we shouldn't be up in the top three.
The season kicked off with Liverpool meeting the young Rangers.
That was well played by Bowles to Francis and Gibbons. Back to Francis, it's a good chance here. Oh, superbly taken by Jerry Francis. Queen's Park Rangers 1, Liverpool 0. Thomas. Still on for the cross, here's Francis. Leach! Oh, superbly headed in by Mick Leach. He always has had the knack of coming from deep positions, and the substitute makes it 2-0. Cherry! Was won by Todd, who's now got two to his right. Number 11 is George. Good effort, and Gemmell has equalised for Derby. Leeds have got four back now. And Lee goes down, and a penalty given against Norman Hunter. Hunter protests, but the referee had no doubt at all to put Derby County 2-1 ahead. So a corner to Leeds, who still trail 2-1. Here's Bremner. Gray. McKenzie! 2 each.
2 goals all, and the tension is too much for former England roommates Franny Lee and Norman Hunter.
Good try, and Harvey at full stretch. And a fight going off the ball between Hunter and Lee. The fists were flying, and that's been brewing for quite some time. And still, the Leeds players trying to keep them apart. And the book is still out. And I'm wondering if he sent them off, because they're wandering away to the far side of the field. And it looks to me as if it's broken out again. It's broken out again, and now this time a complete free-for-all. Lee and Hunter were walking across to the far side, and it all started all over again. And I'm sure they must have been sent off this time anyway. Gordon Guthrie taking Lee away. And the referee still trying to sort it all out. Lee being led away by Dave Mackay on the left, the manager of Derby, and Hunter's going as well. And whether or not they were sent off the first time, they're certainly off the second. Davis. It's a good run by Davis, and what a superb goal!
The FA took strict action against Franny Lee, but Hunter was let off scot-free.
Do one on the steps for us, Norm, please, darling.
I've just got a very fair hearing and I've got banned for 4 games and fined £250.
What happened to Norman?
I don't know. I've not a clue.
Could I ask you what your feelings are about Norman? I mean, now it's all over.
I'd rather not say anything, thank you. Norman threw a punch at me when I wasn't looking and the referee sent us both off for fighting. I shouldn't have got sent off. I honestly shouldn't have got sent because I never threw any punches or anything like that. So I was so frustrated I got my lips split and I got sent off for something, you know, it was really Norman's fault. So I just lost my temper as I was walking off. And I think it was just a bit of pent-up emotion over the years, so we let fly at one another.
Back in the league, QPR were lurking in the leading pack as they met Stoke at Loftus Road.
Leach. Almost going to Masson, it will now. Oh, good effort and a good goal. Don Masson, the scorer. Back by Pajic for Robertson. That's a good cross, Moores is there, and that's in! Tremendous start to the second half for Stoke, with Rangers barely getting a touch. Blore waiting, and outside him there's Moores. They're both coming in now, Park's out, and not making it, Blore! The second time that Alan Blore has cashed in on an error by Phil Parks. Well laid off by young Nutt. That's Masson out to Thomas. Bowles in the middle, and Hollins. And Clement at the far post. There's Clement! He's got it! This is Bowles. Hazelgrave goes hurtling in, taking Bowles with him. Young supporter decided to get on with things and place the ball for the free kick. And it could be the last chance to win it. Webb! Webb! Yes! Yes, he's got it! What a finish! David Webb!
While QPR were playing to their full potential, Stan Bowles was certainly living up to his reputation, as Captain Jerry Francis recalls.
We were sitting down eating our lunch at the table, and there was a knock at the door, and his wife at the time was going to answer the door, and it was the bailiffs. And they'd come in and they'd taken the table we were eating on, the chairs we were sitting on, and the television we were watching. So after they'd left the door and the door was open, you looked round, there was our plates of food still on the carpet floor. So that was life with Stan, really.
The FA were horrified by an outbreak of free love on the field and instructed referees to break up the kissing and cuddling.
With your cute little way, will you promise that you'll say your kisses for me? Save all your kisses for me. Bye-bye, baby, bye-bye.
Crystal Palace's flamboyant boss Malcolm Allison found himself in hot water at the start of February, and not with the FA for a change.
The only thing I really remember about it was that someone told me it was a front page in 19 countries, and I thought, I don't believe this. Like, you know. I mean, she just came, she'd done some photographs, and she'd written an article for a magazine for Paul Raymond, and she said to me, "Can I get in the bath?" I said, "Yeah, sure." Like, and I didn't even, you know. I mean, Terry Venables got out so quick that day. I mean, I thought I might have made a mistake. He went like, and I thought he's quicker than I thought he was. Like.
With coach Terry Venables, Allison's Palace were also making news in the FA Cup. Conquerors of First Division Leeds in round 4. And in round 5, Palace met London neighbours Chelsea.
Chelsea must have forgotten what it's like to run out in front of this sort of support. Good challenge by Whittle and brought away by Chatterton, and Peter Taylor is onside. Being joined now by Chatterton square, but Taylor goes alone and goes well. Oh, it hit the bar! Chatterton's there! Chatterton raises his arms in delight. The Palace supporters celebrate, but all the credit to Peter Taylor. Here's Taylor again, and Palace now is stretching Chelsea. Chatterton's going inside again, there he is. On again for Taylor. Well, this man may well have won the tie in the space of 2 minutes. Just look at the joy on the Palace faces. Peter Taylor takes Chelsea apart, and Malcolm Allison raises the hat. Here's Harris. Wilkins! They're appealing for offside, but it won't be given. Wilkins has scored for Chelsea. Just the goal they wanted to get back in the fight, and it comes from the 19-year-old skipper and sends the shed wild. Wicks! Oh, yes! What a moment for the 19-year-old defender. He can't believe it. Steve Wicks has equalised. Taylor! Oh, what a goal by Peter Taylor! And what a one-man performance. He's making this for Palace. And no wonder Malcolm takes the hat off again. And there it is. Third Division Crystal Palace are in the last 8. And the man that put them there was Peter Taylor.
I feel that if I could have gone on the pitch, if the Football Association not barred me, I think we'd have won that game.
In the other semi, Man United met Derby.
Hill, nicely played to Daly. The query is up. Hill, trying to count it and does! Gordon Hill! And really the trap was sprung from the moment that the return ball from Davis to Todd wasn't a good one. The contrast between the two ends of the ground. Total noise from behind Graham Mosley's goal. And Hill, it was deflected! And that surely ties it up. Gordon Hill's second goal. And all around the ground now, all you can see is red and white of Manchester United. And there's the happiest Londoner that ever went to Manchester.
Back in the league, Liverpool by now were chasing hard for the title as they met Burnley at Anfield.
Another in-swinger coming up from Keegan. Toshak must be for Fairclough. It's his first goal that he scored at Anfield. Ball for Toshak, who let it go. Fairclough. Good piece of football by two players, and the youngster scores in the end.
But since Christmas, it was QPR who had hit a rich vein of form, with 5 consecutive wins, thanks to the scintillating partnership of Bowles and Francis.
Me and Jerry hit it off straight together. I mean, Terry Venables said at the time, he said, we only played in 1-5-a-side together, we never met each other and we just hit it off straight away. I love playing with Jerry, he loved playing with me.
We had such an understanding at club level, like telepathic. I could play things blind and he could do the same, and really, really enjoyed playing together.
With their season now complete, QPR watched on from a TV studio as Liverpool needed just a draw in their final game against Wolves to secure the league.
Just into the centre circle, nodded down, comes to Richards. Kinden's moving for the return, that's a good ball. A chance here for Steve Kinden, and he makes it! And gives Wolves a lifeline. Under 15 minutes left, and Liverpool still looking for this vital goal. Chipped up in the box, on by Toshek to Keegan, and the old firm have done it. 1-1, and that will be enough. Look at the delight on those faces of players and spectators. Neil knocking it in, comes sideways, Toshek taking his time, but using it to perfection. 2-1. Keegan. Liverpool ending the match and the season in fine style. Here's Ray Kennedy, slipped his man quite superbly, and what a lovely left foot.
It was a sad way to sit in a TV room and watch 90 minutes football and see your whole season sort of go up in flames, really. Very disappointing.
I said, I'm going to get drunk, Jerry. What are you doing? I don't know what he done. He pissed off.
I can't believe it.
As the cup final approached, Manchester United fans flocked to London from all over the home counties.
Who's going to win tomorrow?
There's only one team to win.
Southampton?
No, you must be joking. United. It's got to be. Otherwise you'll be fishing a lot of people out of Thames tomorrow night.
Unused to the bright lights, the Southampton players went to Wembley on the eve of the final to soak up the atmosphere. On cup final day, Manchester United were the firm favourites.
Tremendous roar as Laurie McMenemy on the right leads out Southampton, accompanied by Tommy Docherty, the Manchester United manager. This is a familiar journey for Docherty. So Gordon Hill will take this corner. Swinging awkwardly, and suddenly got a touch and off the bar from McElroy. The ball was back-headed then, skidded off somebody's head, and McElroy hit the bar. Well, this may not be one of the great games, but it's pretty finely balanced. And there's been plenty of incident too. McAlliar to Stokes, who's onside. 1-0. Southampton go mad. And on the bench they celebrate. Played about 30 seconds of injury and stoppage time. And the whistle has gone, and Laurie McMenemy and Southampton take the cup for the first time in their history. The match of the Queen congratulates the Southampton captain, and Peter Rodrigues, 32 years old, the man who came back from being given away by Sheffield Wednesday, salutes the Southampton supporters and lives this moment of triumph.
Well, I think on the day Southampton were the better side, but I accepted it was que sera, whatever will be, will be. Very disappointed for the players and the supporters and myself. And they were nice people, Southampton, and that was the one good thing that came out of it, we were beaten by a nice club.
We weren't the best team in the world. We were honest, we gave our best, and we just got on with the job. You know, I mean, we just done our best, and that's all we could offer. We drove around this town, and they were coming out of hospitals, they were firemen up ladders. You couldn't just imagine what we went through. It was absolutely fantastic, absolutely brilliant, and I'll thank Southampton for that.
In sweltering temperatures, the season opened with the traditional Charity Shield match between cup winners Southampton and champions Liverpool.
And for the players, the start of a long journey which goes on until June. Liverpool, the league champions, on the left, Southampton, the cup winners, on the right. Callaghan. Keegan, little touch ball. Toshek! Oh! The old firm at it again.
Another great Liverpool performance, and modest with it.
We knew we were the best side in the league. We knew that teams were frightened of us. You know, we never lost at Anfield, so that means you're going to win a league anyway.
QPR, last year's runners-up, face Everton, hoping to prove they were no one-season wonders.
Lyons looking it in. Good save by Parks. And it's gone in. Here's Telfer. Taking on John Hollins for pace and beating it, and it's there by Latchford. Lyons. Oh, handball by Hollins. Penalty. And he makes it. McClintock couldn't reach it, and Latchford may get a break here, and it could be 4, and it is. Latchford second.
Former Leeds United maestro Johnny Giles is causing a sensation at West Brom. Having led his team to promotion last season, player-manager Giles is the inspiration against Man United.
Giles. Alistair Brown. And again Giles. Good try, it's well! Oh yes! Johnny Giles! Again Giles picks out Mulligan. Alistair Brown got up, and it's there! United's unbeaten away record in grave danger. 2 goals down and a corner to Albion taken to Giles. Cantello. Good try! Oh, it's there! Len Cantello! And yet again, Johnny Giles was involved. Johnston. Nice touch from Alistair Brown to Tony Brown, and here's Tracy, and there's number 4. What a magnificent move.
With Liverpool making the pace, Ipswich and Man City are hard on their heels as they meet at Portman Road, Ipswich in blue.
Birchin. Is looking into the sun as the ball comes across. Weimark going with Doyle. And here's Weimark. And puts it in.
Trusty Trevor Weimark on target again for Ipswich, with reinforcements about to arrive.
When you are a king, everywhere you go, people bowing low, carriages to take you anywhere, feet won't ever touch a thing.
To be honest, the lads in the dressing room, when he signed Paul Mariner, we'd never heard of him. He'd playing for Plymouth, and we were amazed.
Mariner wasted no time in making his mark.
Mariner's up! That's why they paid a record fee for him. But Mariner may get a flick here, and Woods is completely free on the left. Walk is coming hard inside. Mariner is on the far post. It's going to come to Talbot for the shot, and it's a beauty.
He said, "It's the boss here." I said, "Who, Bob Paisley?" He said, "Oh, no, sorry. He said, "It's Don Revie." I said, "Oh, you're my boss now, are you?" He said, "Oh, hi." He said, "I'm going to recall you in the England squad." I said, "What, you're recalling me? After 18 months when I've been playing my best football of my career, and you've been playing all the garbage that you've played in the England side for the last..." Oh, he said, I didn't think you'd go about it like that way. I said, "Well, how do you think I'd go about it? Do you think I'd say thank you very much, and I'm so pleased to be back again?" Oh, he says, anyway, I give him so much stick on the phone for 20 minutes. My missus was in the background saying, "Oh, no, she's going, no." Oh, she's saying, "No, you've blown it, Em, you've blown it, you've blown it."
Unfortunately for Revie, his England team did blow it, beaten and struggling to qualify.
They ended up beating us 2-0, but as I say, murdered us 2-0, not beat us.
Tommy Docherty's young United team are blowing hot and cold, but are still giving value for money, with wingers Hill and Coppell to the fore.
Lovely ball from Lou Macari to Hill. Daly! Coppell!
Do you know what football and Gillette G2 have in common? The old 1-2. Gillette G2 has two blades. The first to shave you close, the second to shave you closer still, and gives me the best shave I've ever had.
Gillette G2, the new 1-2.
If you come into the ground at, say, 3:30, you didn't know whether we were losing 4-0 or winning 4-0. The way we just played lovely, entertained, went forward, attacked all the time. People used to say, you're not very good defending. I said, how do you know? You never see us defending.
Meanwhile, it was former United favourite Brian Kidd spearheading City's push for the title.
Kidd beating Blockley, and here's Royal. And Wellington lucky, and in the end was made to pay for it by Brian Kidd. Watson, Kidd. Here is Kidd. And that's his first hat-trick for Manchester City. Just listen to the applause for Brian Kidd. A hat-trick on his 300th league appearance. Well, any foreigner watching this might say, well, if this is your third best side, which City are at the start of today, what's the first like? Here's Kidd, and that's four!
4 goals from Brian Kidd to keep City on course. But elsewhere, another young marksman was emerging.
Turning McClintock nicely. Then Leach. Finds right. Oh, well, what about that?
Birmingham City's Trevor Francis was on a hot streak. And when City face Arsenal, both Francis and Supermax score 3.
I remember the day very well because at the time, the two of us were doing regular columns for Tiger and Scorcher. And although we scored 1 or 2 hat-tricks in the comic, to actually score, hat-tricks in a First Division game against each other was quite an event.
Meanwhile, at the top of Division 2, Brian Clough's Nottingham Forest are chasing promotion.
Well, it's been on the cards.
Was there ever a time when you felt you might join Derby today?
There was never a time when I didn't feel that. Apart from right. I wanted to come back to Forest, to Derby so badly, it was unbelievable.
We were very worried at that stage because we thought we were on the verge of something. Even although we weren't walking away with that league, we still felt we had a good side, with a great camaraderie, great spirit, and I think we felt that if he stayed there, he could really take us places.
Liverpool welcome Newcastle to Anfield.
Up comes Callaghan. Fairclough. Did well to get across in. Highway! Fine goal.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah, we can do it.
Every game was like a cup final. It was a quarter final of the FA Cup. The following week it was a quarter final of the European Cup, and in between we had a big league game we had to win, and it was just non-stop.
Next up for Liverpool, a Merseyside derby in the FA Cup semi-final.
I think it'll be a level score, 3 goals apiece. 3 for Highway and 3 for Fairclough.
I think we're going to lick them in the semi-final. We're going to beat the Reds in the semi-final.
Fairclough. Now Keegan. Neil is up on the far post, calling for a cross. McDermott. Oh, that was beautiful! And Terry McDermott has chipped the goalkeeper. And Lawson could do nothing about it. Hughes who slipped. Let Pearson go on. And it's going to come to Dobson. Mackenzie! a good punch, really. And it was knocked back in by Jimmy Case. On by Mackenzie for Pearson. And here's Mackenzie again. Oh, Rioch! And out of the blue, Main Road is suddenly all blue.
What happened next brings back fond memories, even to this day. With time running out, Everton scored the winner, only for referee Clive Thomas to rule out what appeared to be a perfectly good goal.
No, it was never a goal.
He wasn't offside, and Everton should have won the game because they played better than us. But the thing was that when the goal was disallowed and the game finished at 2-2, they knew they couldn't beat us in the replay because you only get one chance.
Now Case, it's on for Case. Kennedy came in, and again.
Sometime, maybe I give a wrong time, stop a traffic line. Your future dream is a shopping scheme, 'cause I wanna be
I think I would like to try my way and try the Birch and take it from there. But as I said earlier, you know, you want to make a decision in life, and they're afraid to do this. It's as simple as that.
Inside the Hillsborough Stadium, workmen have just finished building 10-foot-high fences costing £6,000. These will literally cage in the rival Leeds and Manchester fans at opposite ends of the ground.
On the day, the United fans behaved themselves impeccably as they see their boys in red tear Leeds apart and book their place in the cup final. Back in the league, a bizarre afternoon at the baseball ground cost Man City their title chance.
This is Langan, and Daniel was there. Daly, and Hector is there. Brought down, was it? Yes, by Gary Owen. Penalty.
Already 3 down and seeing their title hopes blown up in their faces, the City lads could only look on as the referee makes certain of a whitewash. With the Derby keeper making sandcastles in his area, the penalty spot is repainted.
Certainly some football history being made here. I'm sure the penalty spot has never been painted during a First Division match before. From the number 4.
And so ended City's championship hopes, leaving Liverpool and a reluctant Bob Paisley to retain their First Division title.
For the lap of honour. And that represents the first leg of the treble that Liverpool are attempting. They've now got 1 trophy on the shelf, and there are 2 more to play for.
Hoping to spoil Liverpool's treble, Man United were relaxing in leafy Surrey. Desperate for a practice area, Tommy Docherty commandeered a local girls' school hockey pitch, forcing the girls into a game of rounders and into allegiance with the opposition.
Are you all Manchester fans or Liverpool?
No, Liverpool. Liverpool!
I wonder what thoughts are going through Tommy Docherty's mind. He came here 4 times with Scotland as a player, lost 3 and drew 1. He came here as a player in the Cup final with Preston in '54 and lost, and this is his 3rd FA Cup final as a manager. As Jimmy Greenhoff's header on for Pearson, a chance on here, and Pearson is the scorer. And there's a saying in football that Liverpool are at their most dangerous when they're behind. That remains to be seen. Jones. Case. Good turn. Oh, yes! A brilliant goal by Jimmy Case. On by Macari. Smith slips slightly. Jimmy Green off. And has it gone in by Macari, is it? And United are back in front. Agonising wait for the United fans, this, and for the players. Kennedy for Liverpool. And there it is. Manchester United have won the FA Cup. 12 months after losing here, Tommy Docherty is at last a winner. And how fitting that a man called Buchan should be the first to climb the 39 steps that lead from the pitch here at Wembley to the Royal Box. Perhaps the most famous club in football, Manchester United, certainly got one of the most fervent followings. For Liverpool, led by a dejected Emlyn Hughes, the treble now is over. But for the winners, of course, the moment has to be savoured, and why not?
For the United lads, it was a triumphant return and a rapturous reception. The Doc keeping his promise of a year earlier.
We promised you last year we would bring the cup back. And we brought the cup back to the finest supporters in the world.
Whilst United fans were celebrating, thousands of Liverpool fans made the pilgrimage to the European Cup final in Rome.
I haven't been to bed since we come back from Wembley either, you know.
With limited sleeping space and hangovers all round, a bit of Scouse ingenuity was called for.
Well, we're all having an hour on and an hour off, you know what they? That's my fella up there now.
My brother went by rail and he ended up sleeping in the, you know, the glove, well, the compartments up where you put the luggage, you know, all like that.
And all the talk amongst the lads was, how on earth can we lose this game when so many people have made so many sacrifices to be here? And we went out and performed as though the FA Cup final had never happened.
Liverpool's European Cup final opponents...
It was such a good run. He left folks who bit him, and bit too hard, and it's a penalty. Simplicity, the European Cup surely is won.
I remember walking over to Bob, giving him a hug, and we both looked at each other and said, Shanks. You know, it's funny that, you know, we both looked at each other, because Shanks had given us...
The trophy of the season, and won by the English champions, Liverpool.
Forest had been promoted from the second division the previous season, but were already being written off as a bunch of ragbags and has-beens. Of course, no Brian Clough team was ever short on confidence, and old Big Ed was out to set the record straight.
We play with discipline. We don't play with any problems with referees. We try to entertain, and you never know, John, you and your profession just might recognise that we are a good side.
Meanwhile, champions of Europe Liverpool were looking to replace German-bound Kevin Keegan, and a certain Scottish striker had been lined up.
Slipping Miller. Still there. What an astonishing goal by Kenny Dalglish.
For a record £440,000, King Kenny arrived at Anfield.
The public, of course, and the press are already talking about you replacing Kevin Keegan. Is that how you see it?
I don't think so. Kevin Keegan's been here. He's done a great job for Liverpool, and Liverpool have been very good to Kevin Keegan. This club will be here long after Kevin Keegan and myself have gone.
Manchester United had denied Liverpool the treble in a dramatic cup final back in May. But Tommy Docherty's celebrations were cut short.
A meeting of the directors has decided unanimously that Mr. Docherty is in breach of the terms of his contract and his engagement is terminated forthwith.
6 weeks after winning them the cup, United sacked the Doc, after his relationship with Mary Brown, wife of team physio Laurie Brown, became public.
I was hurt in as much that they're a great club, they're marvellous people to work for, and, you know, I didn't like the publicity, but I didn't ask for the publicity. In view of what happened, we were hounded like animals for about 2 weeks.
At Ipswich, Bobby Robson's men were convinced this would be their year.
Only the ball moves, the goals will always be there. Keep your head down and knock it in.
Arsenal, the visitors, in yellow.
On by Geddes, and here's Mariner. Oh, good save, but Geddes may score.
They say the fishing is very exciting. They say it's easy to catch them. Very easy, yeah.
Mr. Revie is extremely angry and bitterly disappointed at the reaction to the events of the past week. However, when I gave him the opportunity today to put the record straight, he declined.
Typical. Yeah, absolutely typical. That was the man. I mean, he took the job in a blaze of publicity. He'd done a poor job with the side, and somebody had come in and made him an offer, you know, to do the Arabs. And he took the money and done a run himself.
An early season heavyweight clash as Emlyn Hughes and Liverpool travelled to fast improving Ipswich.
Beatty quite a long way over and got to it. Fine set piece. Beatty deep in the box, heading it forward. Mariner has got 2 left of him, but didn't take it with him. And Smith leading the charge. Kennedy. Dalglish. Oh, that's nice! That's lovely! Piece of impudence. Kenny Dalglish, his 5th league goal of the season.
In my opinion, Kevin was there. The rest of us were down here on a mortal plane. Kevin was above us, and Kenny was up there. Kenny was up there with the besties. You know, second, again, my opinion, second only to Bestie.
Meanwhile, Forest are silencing their critics, unbeaten as they travel to Wolves.
Peter With might be the target here on the far side of the box. Coming in now. Oh, and he got there too. So positive. Robertson. Good running by Bowyer, number 8. This is Woodcock. With has gone to the right. Waiting for O'Neill. Now With. Glanced in there by Woodcock. He made it look so simple, and Forest are 3 goals up.
We had a really nice balance. In the middle of the field, we had people that could pass and we had people who would run. I suppose I added the craft, and up front we had With, who was terrific at that stage, and Woodcock was just frightening.
At last, a real test for Brian Clough's Forest, with a visit of fellow title contenders Man City.
Mistake by Dennedy, followed a mistake by Doyle. Still Robertson, must be Woodcock. Tony Woodcock, the scorer. Woodcock, Gemmell, runs for Woodcock. With him. Robertson outside. with pulling to the middle. Oh, Witt took it right off Woodcock's toe. And he scored! What an extraordinary goal!
We're on the Las Reales Army. We're going to the Argentine, and we'll really shake them up when we win the World Cup. 'Cause Scotland are the greatest football team. When we reach the Argentine, we're really gonna show the world a brand of football that they could never know. We're representing Britain and we've got to do or die. For England can't do it 'cause they didn't qualify.
I wanna see the sunshine after the rain. I wanna see bluebirds fly.
A splendid save by the Honourable Member for Walsall South, Bruce George, followed by yet another. Both sides showed stamina, attributed to all-night sittings in Parliament. The Westminster men launched another attack, and there was the Prime Minister's senior policy advisor, Bernard Donaghy. The result, 2-1 to Britain.
Well, elated with the result. I think the people of Wales and England can say, well, a small consolation for these countries not getting into the World Cup in Argentina. An excellent game.
Back in the league, Forest are setting a relentless pace, unbeaten at home, as Arsenal visit the City ground.
Needham! And Needham gets his third goal, and Forest go in front. Matt Rice, the Arsenal captain, knowing full well that all they need is a goal. Ah, that's Gamble, he really stole that. He's got support from Woodcock in the middle. There's 2 against 2. Gamble's arrived all the way from the back, and With hasn't seen him. He has now. 2-0.
There was a great belief, you know, everybody. We couldn't wait for the next game to come up, and it was like a case of who's next.
We got the whole world in our hands. We got the whole wide world in our hands. We got the whole world in our hands. We got the whole world in our hands.
It's not literally true. We haven't got the world in our hands yet, despite the fact we played reasonably well for 5 or 6, 7 months. At this precise moment, we haven't won anything.
Chances are that sitting at the side of the pitch here, that you and Peter Taylor might start humming it during a match?
I wouldn't think so, no. There's rather a different sound comes out of Peter Taylor's and my mouths during football matches.
Whilst the Forest lads were in perfect harmony, Liverpool were off-key, following a disappointing day at Coventry. David Fairclough, the super sub, sinking fast.
Only in Sunday League football have I've really met up with anything like that. But everything I hit sort of just wasn't really right, you know. Really, it was, a bit of a depressing day for me.
And it's going to come to Fairclough, and he's missed it.
What a waste.
It's Fairclough through for Liverpool. And he's hit the post. Oh, he's done it again. Oh, and Ferguson through here for Coventry. And yes! And Liverpool are pulled apart.
I'm not happy because I like to be winning the league by about 8 points and like to be in everything. But some are demanding blood at the moment.
Looking to add some bite in the Liverpool midfield, Bob Paisley signs Graham Souness from Middlesbrough.
He was a very, very confident boy, or man I should say, very strong in the tackle. Some people would say occasionally overstrong, but when he's on your side, that's okay.
Souness is in the Liverpool lineup as they welcome Man United to a soggy Anfield.
Oh, Roach did well at the near post and Highway has gone down. Thompson, Souness. And still he's onside. McDermott this time. Souness! Brilliant goal! His first for Liverpool. Number 11 Hill. And then Driving it into Kennedy. McQueen sold himself completely. Kennedy slipped him, and now Liverpool have got a man over, and this could be interesting. Dalglish on the ball, Fairclough to his left, and then Highway outside him if he needs him, which he does now. Driven by Highway, McDermott, Kennedy, 2-0. Oh, Souness somehow saw Dalglish there. Oh, and Highway wanted it inside the back, but here he is anyway. Still Highway. Oh, it's got in, yes! Jimmy Case was there.
People are frightened of us all over England.
Anyone comes down here, they get slung out, I'll tell you that now.
A good game of football, a good punch-up and a good piss-up. And that's all about Millwall.
The Lions of Millwall have earned their reputation the hard way. At the bottom of the hierarchy are the youngsters. They call themselves the halfway line, and when it comes to aggro, they imitate their elders. Some of them graduate to treatment. They're the ones in the surgical masks. Although one of Millwall's heavy mobs, treatment don't pick fights, but they're always there when they happen. In the trench warfare of the terraces, it's F Troop who go over the top. F Troop are the real nutters, self-confessed loonies like Harry the dog, who go looking for fights and are seldom disappointed.
I remember my roommate on the day, Johnny Watt, was very, very nervous. He was a young player in those days, and he had to go to the toilet many, many times. I don't know, maybe that's a secret of his success or his longevity, but John was very nervous that day.
Talbot.
Playing in white, Ipswich went all out to silence Harry the dog and his F Troop cronies.
Talbot now finding Burley. Burley tries a shot. Oh, it's gone in! George Burley, the scorer. From way out, he caught the goalkeeper by surprise. And Ipswich are in front after 10 minutes. Inside for Osborne. That's a nice ball. It's going to come to Mariner off the line. And Mariner. Well, Mariner makes it 2-0. Oh, Mariner round Kitchener nicely. Here's Turner. Mariner. 3-0. And surely now it's all over. Oh, and now there's some trouble behind that goal because the police have had to move in quite strongly. Some silly supporters have made it worse and gone into the centre of the pitch, and unfortunately the sad face of football in the 70s appears to be recurring again.
Who cares? Come on, everybody!
The players are being led back to the dressing room by the referee.
After a 15-minute break to restore order, Ipswich came out to finish the job.
So Mills with the kick for Ipswich, looks for Mariner again and finds him. Here comes John Walk. Oh, that's a cracker. That's the best goal of the match.
Back in the league, Cup finalist Ipswich travel to Everton, who need the points to pressure Forest.
Robinson's cross. Dobson is coming in on this. Penalty. Dobson was held down. Russell Osman protests, but he's been penalised. Latchford now could score his 28th league goal. Quite emphatic, that shot from Latchford.
It was too little too late for Everton, and Forest came out at Coventry needing only 1 point for the championship.
I've done my sentence, but committed no crime.
Green! Oh, and Shelton says, I've almost won the championship. This is Wallace. Ferguson! Oh, what a save! Oh, outstanding goalkeeping by Shelton.
I thought we'd qualify for Europe, no more. And that would have been an achievement. But having signed Shilton, I said then that anything was possible. He's by far the greatest goalkeeper in the world.
Who holds the career record of league goals for Ipswich?
Ray Crawford.
203 league goals, correct. Which club scored 10 goals against Ipswich?
Fulham.
Correct.
On a wet Wembley, it was fitness tests all round for injury hit Ipswich.
The way it's gone for us, if we played snap, somebody would break his wrist.
Crowds wait for the first sight of the players, and they're on the way. And Clive Woods. Good ball. Osborne. Mariner. Hit the bar. Past O'Leary. This is Mariner. No foul given. He's beaten Young. Walk. Ipswich hit the post. Laid on for Walk. That is incredible. He's done it twice. Geddes. All taking on the defender and winning. Osborne 1-0. This member of a family of 12 who've come in a special bus to watch the match, puts it away. The blue and white of Ipswich on the trophy for the first time, and they become the 40th side to win the cup. 40th Kipton side.
We'd never won anything in my time at Ipswich, and everyone said what a good team we had with so many good players. We had international players, but we'd never won anything, and all of a sudden we won something. And it was, let's be honest, it was a small club compared to the Arsenals and the Manchester Uniteds and Liverpools, and I think I remember it as a tremendous weekend for everybody from Ipswich as well.
I'm absolutely delirious. Magic, magic, magic. Fantastic.
Ipswich supporters turned out to welcome the cup winners home, with Bobby Robson the toast of East Anglia. The glitz and glamour of the World Cup had produced the usual quota of thrills and spills, and a home win for Argentina.
Okay. Kimpet! 1-0.
They're changing London town to Buenos Aires. They're changing White Hart Lane to Blanco de Torres.
Tottenham pulled off a summer coup by signing Argentinian World Cup stars Osvaldo Ardiles and Ricky Villa, adding a cosmopolitan touch to the new league season.
The music isn't much and the lyrics are distinctly inferior, but the song itself an expression of simple delight.
It was one of the simplest things that ever happened for me. It signed a contract in 10 minutes. He was really wanting to come to England. The thing about it was that when I'd got him signed, he said, would you like to take another Argentinian player? I said, who's that? He said, Ricky Villa. He said, he's a big friend of mine, and if you want him, he said, he will sign for you.
Meanwhile, trophies were piling up at Liverpool as the two-time European champions set out to reclaim their English championship.
He's coming short, Booth following him, so Souness takes the gap behind the defence and gets in! Five forward on the attack, that's a fine ball, finds McDermott, here is Ray Kennedy! It's so simple! Neil. Highway. Player into the gap, it's McDermott yet again. Dalglish, Souness! Alan Kennedy, well that's not his better foot, let's put it that way, but Dalglish is onside and can make it 4.
At FA Cup winners Ipswich, Bobby Robson had caught the foreign bug. His young squad boosted by the arrival of Arnold Muren and Frans Thijssen from Holland.
Waiting for Ipswich here with Thijssen. Lovely play by Thijssen, look at that. That's superb, and he's going to set somebody up here. It was Muren! And the two Dutchmen have provided a tremendous moment here.
They caress it and they address it and they pass it and they control it and stop it in such a soft, delicate way that it's a joy to watch.
The Dutch pair were an instant hit, despite some early surprises.
I remember the first game I played. I went into the room from the physio and there was nobody there. So I thought to myself, oh, what's happening here? Is a physio ill or something? And he came in and he said, what are you doing here? I said, can you give me a little massage, my calves a little bit? You know, that's what the thing I was used to in Holland. And he said, no, he said, go outside, that's the best massage you can get.
At West Brom, it was Big Ron Atkinson keeping everybody happy.
I don't like people to be miserable. We don't like our crowds to go away miserable, obviously. I don't like people around us to be miserable. You know, because you're too long dead, really. That's a philosophy we've got.
Keeping Big Ron happy were Laurie Cunningham, a young Brian Robson, and the powerhouse Cyril Regis. Coventry City were the latest victims.
Laurie Cunningham's run at the defence brought the first of his 2 goals, and then from a cross by Willie Johnson, Cyril Regis headed a really powerful goal that underlined the importance of the 2 coloured strikers in the West Brom team.
It's the best team I ever played in, where we could have 3 or 4 days off, and come Saturday we could click. Somehow we had a balance, a friendship on and off the field, which was on a different level.
Brendan Batson, Cyril Regis and Laurie Cunningham became the 3 degrees.
Sometimes when you're in training, I'll go boom, 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 like, come on, I view the 3 degrees. And it coincided as well, where I think the singing group started coming to Birmingham a lot. And to be fair, the 3 lads were a great credit, Batson, Regis and Cunningham.
What really worries me about it is not whether I'm on television or not. For me, that's inconsequential. People come and go on television and with amazing regularity, and they're not particularly important.
Forest take their 42-game unbeaten run to Anfield for a top-of-the-table showdown with Liverpool.
Dalglish is onside. Interesting, Hansen getting up into the front and causing some problems, but McGovern gets it away. Here's Highway. Here's Douglas, away from the long legs of Anderson. Was tripped on the edge of the area and then inside, and that's a penalty. Kemmel and Anderson going, and the penalty is given. Oh, and he just got it there, but only just. It had to be a good penalty to beat Peter Shilton. Douglas, Alan Kennedy. Oh, it's a brilliant save! And McDermott puts it in!
So some revenge for Liverpool following their European Cup exit and the end of Forest's 42-game unbeaten run.
I don't think it's really got the credit it deserves. 42 is an awful lot of football. It's a whole season, effectively. And it's a phenomenal achievement.
To be home again in England, to be where I belong, where I belong. When the lonely night
Looking it open, and there's a line goal by Keegan.
I long to be with you.
Keegan, and that's two.
In one of the worst winters in league history, over 100 matches were lost to the weather. A whole host of inventive solutions were tried. QPR's giant condom was the most imaginative, but ended up ruining the pitch. Tony Gubble was sent out to investigate.
A referee inspecting this bit of ground would have to say that it was unsuitable for a game to be played.
Unsuitable or not, poor old Motti turned out in all weather. And when the pitches were playable, boots and studs became the big talking point, with the multi-pimpled Astro boot catching the headlines. Now, when it came to studs, there was one man ahead of the field.
I'd been out in Germany and I'd got hold of some of these AstroTurf boots, which were quite a novel at the time. Bought them back, and the lads were all trying them on, and they were finding that on slippy conditions they could keep their balance excellently.
West Brom proved how effective they were when they met Bristol City.
After 11 minutes of a game the players weren't happy to start, Brian Robson's shot was parried, and there was Alistair Brown to get his 10th goal of the season. West Brom, particularly Batson and Cunningham, gave a display of close control which would have graced a good pitch, never mind today's icy ground. Ali Brown put the match beyond all doubt.
I always remember Joe Rowe for Bristol City coming past me, and he got his old leather studs clattering on the concrete as he was going down the tunnel, and he was saying, you know, that's impossible, you can't play on that.
So having scored 3 the game before and being on top and before him, I ended up getting taken off after doing a fair impression of Bambi on ice.
Well, Mal, what has persuaded you, really, to forsake the country life and those strawberry plants we were hearing so much about?
Well, I was very happy there, Jim, and I'm very sorry to leave the cottage and the garden. I was just getting it into really good shape. I got a new fork and a new spade, and I was very happy there. But Manchester City's got an affinity for me, and me for it. And I just thought that I would really regret it if I didn't take this opportunity to go to Manchester.
One of Allison's first games was a tricky tie at Shrewsbury in the FA Cup.
Watson again. Hey. Too big for Butcher. Maguire. It's there. Maguire the scorer, and the game Edo erupts. Well, what a revelation Shrewsbury have been. Full of ideas, full of confidence, and a lot of football. Maguire's corner, Chapman, it's there! The stands at Dame Edo are shaking!
Dumped out of the cup, City looked to regain some pride in the Manchester derby at Main Road.
McElroy will take it and go through the gap. Corrigan out to meet him. If he can put it back, he's got Greenough up into the 6-yard box. Comes to Koppel. And it's went in, even though Corrigan got a touch to it. You don't have to know which set of supporters are doing the celebrating. McElroy taken by Jimmy Greenough on for Koppel. He did well! Oh, that's a brilliant goal! That is a superb goal by Steve Coppell. Oh, he clipped that at such a lovely angle. Oh, Watson left for dead by a fine turn. They have looked better balanced, United, in all possible meanings of that expression, individually and collectively. Macari, McElroy, Ritchie! And the youngster can celebrate his debut in the derby match.
I never even thought about it. I didn't go and look at the team. I didn't go and look at the club. I mean, I'd advise every manager who's been offered a job, to go and look at the situation. But I suppose there's so many of them desperate to get jobs that they just take them. And I just took the Manchester City job without looking at it, which I think it was the biggest mistake I ever made in my life.
A small army of loyal fans and pressmen turned out to cheer Britain's first £1 million footballer into Nottingham. His new boss, Brian Clough, seemed more anxious to play squash than talk about his record deal.
I put that there just in case he makes a balls of it.
Brian Clough had one or two more surprises for his £1 million man.
I remember at the end of the press conference, a journalist asked, where I was going to play and when I was going to play. And, Brian Clough replied, he'll play when I select him. And that's the way it proved.
It was well known that nobody ever got star treatment at Nottingham Forest. In fact, I think Trevor's first job when he came to the club was to pour the tea for the lads at half-time or after the match. So it was a case of everybody being equal, and that was Clough's way.
FA Cup semi-final day, as Arsenal and Wolves meet at Villa Park.
Arsenal suggesting at the start of the second half they're about to take over. This is Rice. Now, can Wolves survive this? Talbot. Price. Won it well. Stapleton. Oh, yes! Fred Stapleton! He deserves the goal more than any other player on the field. And just look at the reception. Sunderland is through. Alan Sunderland scores against his old club the goal that almost certainly means Arsenal are destined for Wembley.
The road to Liverpool's 11th League Championship has been signposted so long that almost the only question was when and where they'd actually win it. Arriving at Anfield for last night's final home game against Villa, there was no doubting the message from 50,000 Merseyside prophets that the end of Nottingham Forest's reign as champions was at hand. Victory and 2 points would clinch the league for the third time in 4 seasons, and the unswerving faith of public and players alike was rewarded in 47 seconds. Dalglish lays the ball back to McDermott, and it's fullback Alan Kennedy popping up as Liverpool's most forward attacking player who turns it into the net. The most magical goal in Liverpool's 3-0 victory was saved from the Kop end. A cut back from the goal line by Dalglish that seemed impossible, and McDermott's finishing immaculate.
And so what is arguably Liverpool's greatest ever team secured the club's 11th championship with a record total of 68 points to mark Bob Paisley's 40th anniversary at Anfield.
Laps of honour have almost worn a path in the turf at Anfield in the past 7 seasons. But experience suggests British football might only appreciate how good they are when their achievements are recalled in years to come.
To win the championship and only concede 16 goals, and we only conceded 4 goals at Anfield all year. And people would say to you, well, you must have been really defensive. But we actually scored 85 goals that year.
Liverpool's total of 85 goals secured a £50,000 payday from the Sun newspaper, which had set a target of 84 goals.
Who scored the 84th? Yeah, me, yeah. I was running to the crowd going, 50 grand. It's like that rather than like that.
Roll out the red carpet, 'cause the red carpet's
This time last year, Brian Talbot was training just as hard and with just as much enthusiasm in preparation for the cup final. His club then was Ipswich, where he made his name and became an international player. Ipswich went on to beat Arsenal, and Brian Talbot collected his first cup winner's medal. So come Saturday afternoon, you may have 2 medals with 2 different clubs.
Hopefully, I'll keep your fingers crossed.
Players are on their way. Dave Sexton leads out Manchester United, and Terry Neal on the far side leaves out Arsenal. Beckham and Sunderland now close together. This is Brady trying to shake off Macari. Sweet skills from Brady. Stapleton out on the right. Trying to feed Price. Price is in here for Arsenal. Talbot on right and Sunderland the right as well. Alan Sunderland got in. Pat Rice has gone sprinting down the right for Arsenal. This is Talbot. This is Brady. Good skills from Brady. 2 waiting in the centre for the cross. Stapleton! 2-0 to Arsenal. Stapleton scores. And Liam Brady has played a part in both the goals. Just 4 minutes on the clock. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 0. Free kick to United. And they've got to make something of this now, Manchester United, to stay in with a chance of a dramatic recovery in the last few minutes. Left for Koppel. Thomas almost got a flick on, appeals for hands against Jordan. And McQueen! Gordon McQueen turned it in with just under 4 minutes to go. And suddenly, the cup final is far from finished. Everybody was waiting upfield, and they still are for United. Koppel. McElroy's through. McElroy's through. And McElroy has done it! What drama here! McElroy for United. It's 2-2. They've scored twice in a minute. There's a minute left on the clock. Brady for Arsenal. Right across. Sunderland! It's there! It's 3-2. Arsenal are back in front through Alan Sunderland. United have possibly thrown it away within seconds of getting it back. Terry Neal probably can't take it in at this moment because the supporters have just seen 3 quite dramatic minutes. Pat Rice, who, as I say, grew up in the most humble of surroundings near the Arsenal ground in North London, will now receive the FA Cup from a young man of about the same age who was brought up in a palace. The moment every captain at whatever level in football dreams about. The cup belongs to Arsenal.
It took me 10 years to win a cup winner's medal, and now I've got one after 4 months. Just can't believe it.
In Europe, Forest fans travel to Munich to see Trevor Francis make his European debut in the biggest game of all, the European Cup final, against Swedish outsiders Malmö.
Woodcock. It's particularly disappointing, the score at half-time, bearing in mind that Malmö had lost 2 important players before the start of the match for £1 million.
Scoring that goal and playing well in a European Cup final projected me to star status, and my career, if I thought it had changed some 4 months prior to that when I became a £1 million footballer, it changed quite dramatically once again.
The season got off to an embarrassing start for Ron Greenwood and his England team, as Mrs Thatcher misunderstood her invitation to lead the nation into battle with Europe. Fortunately, the Iron Lady soon got the message and settled for some personal attention from Kevin Keegan and Emmeline Hughes. And that's the closest old Emmeline ever got to scoring for England. The new season opened with the traditional Charity Shield curtain raiser, with champions Liverpool facing cup winners Arsenal.
Arsenal led out by their captain Pat Rice, while Liverpool are led out nearest the camera by Phil Thompson. Here come Liverpool with McDermott. say, that's a terrific goal. Pat Jennings could do nothing about it. Now Arsenal can break here with Ricks, can they? Not much support up front, only Sunderland, and he was beaten by Hansen, who comes all the way and finds Dalglish, who's onside. And that is absolutely outstanding finishing by the footballer of the year. Arsenal, let it be said, are going to have to produce something quite out of the ordinary now. They're going to get this match back out of Liverpool's grasp, because Liverpool are doing everything right. Johnson. Dalglish. Oh, it's got to McDermott. It's 3.
Meanwhile, back in Manchester, new City boss Malcolm Allison was being haunted by his earlier claims.
I would stop all transfers till 1981 and give the country time to sort itself out from this ridiculous transfer market we got.
Just 2 years after his public outburst, Big Mal himself joined the transfer madness, paying $250,000 for untried Steve McKenzie and a record $1.5 million for Steve Daly from Wolves, as City splashed out.
Cigars, though, didn't seem to be on the main road economy list to pay his fee. But hasn't the time come for football to call a halt to such huge deals?
Possibly, yes. But nobody will go to the wall because only clubs that can afford to spend big money will spend big money.
Peter Swell said to me, "You get on with the football." He said, "I'm a financial genius." So I said, "OK."
Making way for the new arrivals, Allison discarded a generation of young City players who had grown up with the club. Among them, Gary Owen, Asa Hartford and Peter Barnes.
I said, no, I don't want to go. I've got 2 years of my contract left anyway. That's history now, but I eventually went to West Brom and followed Gary Owen. But it was a big shock because we thought we were part of the future of the club. And I once I'd seen Dave Watson leaving and Asa Hartford and Brian Kidd and Gary Owen, I thought there's no future here for me.
An early chance for some Owen back as West Brom new boys Owen and Barnes face their old team at the Hawthorns.
Again, good running by Alistair Brown. Can he make it pay this time? Yes, he can. One ball cut the defence to ribbons. Living very dangerously. Here's Owen, and that's 2. Goal given away by defender carrying, and the obvious delight for Gary Owen, scoring against the club who let him go. Good flick, and it's in! Man at the back who got it. Robson this time without any doubt.
Was a time I wanted you for mine.
Gray emerged onto the pitch to a standing and noisy ovation as he arrived to sign himself and his club into football history.
Andy Gray joined former Liverpool skipper Emlyn Hughes in the Wolves lineup, as Hughes prepared to face his old team back at Anfield.
Went back to Anfield thinking, well, this is my stage now, you know, I'm going to show them they should never have let me go, you know, I'm really going to show them this. I had a nightmare.
Hansen. Witt by the side and Kennedy ghosting into an empty space. Mistake by Hughes, gave it to Dalglish, and it's the opening goal. Dalglish celebrates with a tragic start for Emlyn Hughes. Neil. Johnson, first time to McDermott, Dalglish, and that's 2. Neil, Johnson, McDermott, Dalglish, go. It was as simple as that. Case tracing, if he can put it in the middle, Dalglish is unmarked. So is Johnson. And Red Kennedy puts it in. And that was ridiculous.
So I suppose really I got nervous for the first time and it came off, you know, and I thought, well, thank goodness we don't have to go back there till next year.
There's a festive mood at Wembley as England celebrate European Championship qualification by blooding Newcap's Glenn Hoddle and Norwich City's Kevin Reeves.
The side tonight led by Phil Thompson,
standing in for Kevin Keegan, who has had to return to Hamburg, including 2 new caps. There's one of them, Glenn Hoddle, followed by the other, Kevin Reeves. Glenn Hoddle, the most naturally gifted of a crop of youngsters of quality. Watson already in his accustomed position. Francis occupying the near post. Reeves a little bit further over. There's Watson on the corner of the picture. And here's Hoddle. Teasing chip. And it's found, it's goal! Wilkins. Francis, and here's Hoddle. Well, you won't believe this, but he said to me before the match, it could be I'll get one. What a delight for Glenn Hoddle. And what confidence with that one. Spooned up with the side of the foot into the roof. Well, we're seeing the start of a man who's going to be a very big name during the 80s.
People might pinch your caps and your medals and whatever, but your memory, hopefully, please God, stays with you. And that is a memory that will stay with any player when they play for their country. But to be able to score and, you know, what was a very, very nice goal, I can, you know, still see it now.
Malcolm Allison's misery continues as City suffer a humiliating cup defeat at Halifax and continue to struggle in the league, with the men Big Mal sold from City now coming back to haunt him.
Mike Shannon scores against his former club. And there's Watson still there. It's there. He did well.
Even future manager Alan Ball was in on the act.
He likes that. Oh, missed Barnes against his old club. Knocked it back in. It's Barnes. And Barnes has made it 3-1 and has scored twice on his old hunting ground.
Big Mal's return to Main Road had proved a disaster, and later that year he was on his way.
I remember saying to Peter Swales, well, I'm going, and he didn't like it, you know. And I couldn't believe, you know, he sort of went, oh, all right, like, you know, he didn't like it. Actually, I didn't like him.
Justin, on behalf of Match of the Day, it's my very great pleasure to present you with this marvellous silver salver for scoring the goal of the season.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Fashanu. Oh, what a goal! Oh, that's a magnificent goal!
Betty and husband Alfred are mum and dad to Justin and his younger brother John, who also plays for Norwich.
Yeah, John.
Show it to the younger brother.
A little bit special, that's right.
Okay.
What do you think people like yourself and Regis bring to the traditional number 9 role, the striker's role?
Well, I think we bring a little bit of colour to it.
One of the most interesting developments in modern football has been the astonishing emergence of black players in the English leagues. The children of black people who came to this country in the 50s and 60s have been brought up on football in the schools, and they're now providing some very gifted players indeed.
The collective skills of the All Blacks proved too much on the night. Cunningham opened the scoring, a neat shot from 20 yards.
We were getting a lot of stick from the crowd back then, bananas and chanting, not just one or two, but thousands, the whole maybe Shed End, the Millwall supporters and the Leeds supporters and Newcastle. But we should turn that negative into a positive and go out there and play football and try and win the game and say, well, this is how we can answer it.
Meanwhile, in the 6th round of the FA Cup, Liverpool and Spurs meet at White Hart Lane.
Liverpool's turn to look menacing. Johnson. Case. Phil Neal. Yorath. Ardiles. Oh dear, McDermott. What a strike! Oh! McDermott has done it again! Another magnificent goal from the man who could well be one of the footballers of the year. And it took Barry Daines of Tottenham by surprise. But what can you do with a shot like that? Ardiles just played the ball a little bit short when he was defending. And when it came to McDermott, he let one fly. And fly it did.
Somebody told me that before the season started, you and Graham Souness had a bet about who was going to score the most goals.
Yeah, actually after the match in the dressing room, he come straight over to me before he got changed and said, "There's your 25 quid, so I'm 25 quid the richer tonight."
United stayed in touch with Liverpool throughout the run-in, but on the final week of the season, Liverpool came out at Anfield knowing that victory over Aston Villa would clinch the championship.
Neil, Sammy Lee, free in the centre. Dalglish. Oh, and Rimmer came. McDermott. Johnson. Oh, what a start. It's going to come to Hurd. And there goes Geddes again. Linton. Oh, is it an own goal by Abby Cohen? Is it? It's gone in at the far post. Johnson making space. Finding Dalglish. Hung on well there. And here comes Abby Cohen. Oh, I say! At the same end, he's got one back. Dirt. Kennedy with Lee outside him. Souness wants it played in. There he is. Touched off for David Johnson. Oh! That's the championship. This fantastic bond between the Kop and the Liverpool team, which has existed for many, many years. It was heightened during Bill Shankly's days here, but it's been polished many times since, rather like that trophy. And the championship is with Liverpool yet again.
The battle for the Cup is more than a mere football match. It's also a struggle between supporters from two very different parts of London. And if First Division Arsenal, last year's winners, must be favourites to beat Second Division opponents, out in West Ham, they don't see it that way.
We've got voice enough to overpower the cosmopolitan crowd from Arsenal. I'm quite convinced the Cockney boys will do their bit.
West Ham nearer to the camera, and Arsenal in yellow on the far side. O'Leary for Arsenal. Looking for Stapleton, Sunderland. And West Ham can break here with Brooking. Pearson, who made the earlier move. Devonshire. Oh, Devonshire's round the back. Oh, right across, it's free. Driven in, and is it a goal? It is. Trevor Brooking, and West Ham are in front. Alan Devonshire made it possible. The ball over to the far side of the goal. In they came, trying to make contact, and watch number 10, Brooking. He scored from inside the 6-yard box, and West Ham are in front. Brooking again. Oh, that's beautifully done. Alan. Now, can the 17-year-old take them on? He can. Alan is through. Oh, what a pity. A cynical foul by Willie Young, and fully deserving of the yellow card it got. A 17-year-old might have made a storybook finish there. The holder's grip on the trophy is within seconds of being loosened. That's it! West Ham have won the Cup. It's gone to the Second Division for the 3rd time in 8 seasons. And Arsenal are beaten in the Cup final for the 2nd time in 3 years.
It was great to see Trevor scoring a goal because he was one of the game's true gentlemen. I think he was that nice, he should have been born a woman, him.
Billy Bonds lifts the FA Cup for West Ham.
It was a glimpse of the decade to come as Keegan's England welcomed world champions Argentina and a precocious 17-year-old called Diego Maradona.
Maradona again. And he's taking them all on! And it's gone wide, but what a marvellous example of this man's ability. Couple. Keegan! Oh, what a strike! Marvellous play.
And so ended the turbulent 70s. A decade full of style, skill, and above all, success. I hope you've enjoyed this soccer nostalgia trip, even if the haircuts were a bit scary. Goodbye.